Going on with Lady D today. I'm your host, Lady D. Well, welcome to What's Going On with Lady D today. And we have a special guest in the house. It is my pleasure to welcome a true jazz R&B vocalist, trumpet player, no other than Mr. Jonny Britt.
Hey, Lady D.
How you doing? Welcome home.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be back in Cleveland. You know, this is my home. This is my hometown, and I'm really excited to be here. And thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, awesome. Now tell me, how long has it been since you've been away from us?
You know, I was trying to figure that out myself. It's been that long.
Has it?
Yeah. It's at least 10 years, I think.
At least 10 years?
I would think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell our audience, our listeners, a little bit, because there's so much about you,
Oh.
but give them a little snippet.
Well, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. You know, it was funny because I lived in Paris, France, and I lived in Chicago, and I live in Los Angeles. And you know, I have a lot of friends in Chicago.
Okay.
And I was just flying in. It's like, you know, but Cleveland is home. Cleveland is where I got my roots. This is where I learned how to play the horn. I played in all the clubs that are torn down now. You know, I sang and played, and this is really where I learned. You know, I got my wings, and then I went from here. Actually, I went to school with Arsenio Hall. I like to throw that in there.
Okay,
Big
yes.
shout out to my boy Arsenio. He just sent me a text. He's coming to my show next week in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And we're really cool. And you know, I went from here to Paris, France. I had a great pleasure of studying right outside of Paris, France, at the prestigious Conservatoire de Versailles, under the tutelage of Roger Delmont, the first trumpet player in Paris Opera. And I do speak fluent French. I just came back from France.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oui.
Yeah, and I'm just going like really fast forward, but everything I always
No.
like to say is in the book.
And-
but from there, you know, from Paris, France, I went to Chicago,
Okay.
Illinois, where I got discovered by Otis Williams of the Temptations, and I became the youngest ever musical director. And then while in Los Angeles, that's what really got me to LA. And then from LA, you know, I co-produced their TV miniseries, The Temptations. I had the great pleasure of doing that, as well as working with Robert Townsend, the Little Richard story. I was a co-producer of that. And of course, I was signed to Motown Records. And a lot of you guys may know me from my group Impromptu, which I'll be doing songs from Impromptu at the show tomorrow night. We were a hit group, one of the first hip-hop jazz groups coming out of the West Coast. It was two of us, and yeah, we did our thing on Motown, More Jazz Records. But I'm coming around full circle, being here in my hometown, sitting here with you in Cleveland, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, we are so happy and excited to have you back home, spreading all this wonderful music.
Mhm.
Now, you're going to be performing
Yeah,
at a couple of our locations here in town.
yeah.
Tell
yeah.
our listeners where they can come and check
Well,
you
I'm
out.
really excited. After I leave here, I have to go to sound check at Tri-C.
Okay.
And I'm on the gospel festival. I think it's called Gospel Sings at Tri-C, and they've invited me to be one of their special guests. I'm so honored. I'll be performing. I think I go on at 6:20 around there.
Okay.
And then I think I'll be playing with some of the guests there, the choirs or something like that. But yeah, I'll be at Tri-C. That event is from 6 o'clock to 7:30 today. Then tomorrow I'll be at B&M's, which is on Mayfield Road, I believe.
Yes, that's 5100 Mayfield in Lyndhurst.
Right.
Yes.
That's gonna be hot. I'll be doing my full show. I have a hit song out right now. It's called Ocean Waves, and a lot of you guys have heard it, especially on SiriusXM Watercolors. So I will be doing Ocean Waves for you guys, as well as my #1 single with Peter White. After we play, and of course, I cannot leave Cleveland without doing the hits from Impromptu. So it's going to be a killer night tomorrow night. I really hope that the house is packed and you guys come check out your homeboy
yes.
there. And then Saturday we're doing a book signing for my brand new book. It's right there. It's called The Soloist. It took me 5 years to write it, and it's my autobiography, my life story, of course, here in Cleveland and around the world. And I'll be doing book signings there at, what is it called?
Loganberry.
Loganberry Books.
Loganberry Books on, that's going to be 13015 Larchmere. So please come on out and get your book.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful read.
Thank you.
I was enjoying. You've had a great life.
Thank you. And that's from 3 to 5. That's
yes,
from 3 to 5.
3 to 5 tomorrow on Saturday.
And I will be doing a mini performance there as well. So you can't have the book without the music.
That's right. So now you've played with a lot of different musicians.
Yeah.
Name some of those musicians.
Look, I'm not shy. I'm promoting my brand new album. This is called After We Play. Right?
Okay, yes.
And this is my 6th solo album. I have 4 albums that I did with Impromptu, who are on Motown Records. But I'm really proud of my latest because it features George Benson. It features Will Downing. I'm singing a duet with Will Downing that went number 3 on the charts called Butterflies. Y'all should check it out. Tom Brown is on this record. I have my single Ain't Nothing But the Funk. I'll be doing that at the show, but we'll be dropping that this summer. We have Little Anthony, the legendary Little Anthony from Little Anthony and the Imperials.
Yes.
This is one of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. And I'm actually singing a duet with him on his iconic hit, Going Out of My Head. And so these are just like some of the people that are playing on this new album, as well as Gerald Albright is on the album. So just this album alone, it's just power packed with my friends, people that are really cool. But yeah, I've kind of played with a lot of people. It's in the book actually, my whole discography, and I have a radio show.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I have a radio show called The Turntable. It comes on every Sunday. Every Sunday, it's from 4 to 6 in LA, so that means out here in Cleveland it's like from 7 to 9.
Yeah,
and every
3
week
hours.
I have a special guest. And it's really, really cool because People Bryson has been on the show, Otis Williams from Temptations, George Benson, of course. Just iconic people have been are my guests on my show. So we have a lot of fun with the show.
So let me ask you, what started you up into, how did you get involved in writing and being producing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that I was writing when I was in Cleveland. I never remember just riding my bike, like humming melodies and singing songs. And I think you're kind of born. I do kind of think that you're born with the gift. In my opinion, you develop the gift, but I think you have to be born with the gift. Just like with singing, I think you're born with the gift of vocals, but you develop as it goes on.
Right.
But I started writing here in Cleveland, and I remember that I think one of the first songs that I wrote was right before I went to Paris, France, and I forget we recorded in a studio down here in Cleveland, and it was called "Oh Yes I Do." I think that was the name of the song. And so I'll start writing from here, and then when I went to Europe, it just continued. It's like you have a desire to write, so you write about your girlfriends, whatever you want to write about, broken hearts.
Right.
So writing for me is extremely natural. It's very, very, very natural, and that is a gift that I just possess. And then as far as composing, I've always wanted to develop into a composer. I've always wanted to, as I got older, go into film scoring and that type of thing. So it's all an act of raw talent, and then I think the schooling, because I have degrees and stuff and theory and harmony, and so I really know the music. I know what's happening, know how to put it together. So it's just been a lifelong journey, and I would just say it started, right before I left Cleveland.
Okay, so what age were you when you really found out this was your gift, this is your talent, this is what you wanted to do?
Well, I knew I had the talent when I was like 5 years old.
5 years old.
I used to sing at my uncle's church, the House of God on Kinsman. and I was the lead singer in the choir.
Okay.
So I knew I had and I've always had a voice. I've always had a voice. This right here, on the other hand, this is the hardest thing I do, is the trumpet.
Okay.
It's just an unforgiving instrument. It's so difficult to play. And it's so funny because the reason that I played the trumpet was because I think in 6th grade I went to Cranwood Elementary School, and I'll never forget, they said, okay, kids, we're going to start having music classes, and here's a piece of paper with these different instruments on it. And I never forget, they passed it around, and I looked at the clarinet, and I said, well, it has too many buttons. And I looked at the trombone, and it had a slide. I said, that's really, weird. And then when I saw the trumpet, it had 3 valves.
Okay.
And I'm like, Lady D, it can't be that difficult. So I'm going to choose the trumpet.
Okay.
So I chose the trumpet, and actually it's the hardest instrument to play. It's just the hardest instrument to play. And out of everything that I do, which is arranging, composing, producing, this is the most difficult. If you don't, I always say it's unforgiving. The horn is unforgiving, because if you don't put the time into it, you'll just lose it.
So it's a everyday, all day
Oh,
practice
yeah.
with that.
Well, yeah, you have
got
to.
strong lungs too, because you're doing a lot of blowing there.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
So let me ask you, because you have this much love for music and you have this great compassion, who do you credit this to?
The passion?
Yes.
Well, one thing I do, I want to credit my mother.
Okay.
I have to credit my mother because she was always encouraging to me. And I always say this story, if it wasn't for my mother, I wouldn't be playing the trumpet. And it's because of what I said. I was in the 6th grade. I started trumpet when I just told you the story about the valves, right?
Yes.
And then I became the first trumpet player in 7th grade. And then I went to a Catholic school.
Okay.
That didn't have a music program, and we were renting. We were like borrowing the instruments because we couldn't afford a horn, and so I remember, and I went to my sister's house in Louisville, Kentucky, and I had been off the horn for like a year, because they didn't have the music program, and my mother said, son, you got to come home. I just put you in the band at Cathedral Latin. That's the high school that I went to.
Right.
And that was like in 9th grade. And then from there, I go there, and it's like starting all over again because I didn't play for a year, like I just told you.
Yes.
And I go there, and these seniors and these big white dudes and stuff playing all these high notes. Their red faces are turning red. And it was like, I just went in, stage band, marching band, concert band, and then I started joining bands around Cleveland, and that's what really got me back on track with horn. So absolutely, this is my mother.
Now, is there any you married? You have children?
Yeah, I've been married for 37 years.
Let's talk about your son, because your son is doing some wonderful
Thank
things.
you.
Okay?
Thank you for asking, Joshua. Yeah,
Yes.
he just graduated from the Berklee College of Music. I'm so proud of him. He graduated with a film scoring degree, and it's film scoring, contemporary writing, and video games. And he currently works at Disney in the music prep department. And he'll actually be at the Oscars this year, prepping music for that. He's been on, he's getting his film credits together. And at the end of certain films, if you'll see his name, in the credits,
Right.
for the music prep stuff. But I'm really proud of him. And it's funny because I never forced him to get into music. I never did. He would always see it around me because I would take him around with me to the studio, rehearsals, and the whole thing. And he's a trumpet player. He's a very good trumpet player, very good bass player, and a very good piano player. And like he's my musical director. He writes all my charts for me. He's playing keyboards with me next week in LA.
Nice.
He just played bass on some of my recordings. And what other instrument did I say he played?
Piano.
Yeah, piano, bass, and trumpet. Oh yeah, and trumpet. Well, I'm a trumpet player, but he, we play in big bands together and stuff like that. And Lady D, it really is a dream come true. Like a lot of times, the basketball players, their sons become basketball players.
Right.
Well, it's a dream come true because we have so much in common to talk about. We love sports and we love music. He's into production, so I can talk to you about some stuff that you're like, what are you talking about? Well, I
Right.
talk to him because he's a musician, he's a
He can
producer.
relate.
Yeah, he knows the whole thing, so he helps me with my problems. So yeah, really, really proud of him, and he's we're working on we work on my albums, and then I'm going to do a project with him too. We're going to do something together.
I would love to hear that.
Yeah, we would. Yeah,
That
and
would
it's
be really
it's nice
nice.
because when I do my shows, I'm the star of the show. It's cool, but he's like, he's getting the house. He's getting Johnny's son, Johnny Britt's son, which is cool. He really brings a lot of value to my brand.
That is truly amazing. We have to keep it going on.
Yeah. But he's really, really cool. I brought him to Cleveland. Maybe one of the last times I was here, I played at the House of Blues, and he had a great time. He was little then; he's 25 now.
Okay.
But I took him to, kind of took him around. Hey, this is where I used to live. Stomping grounds. Took him to where the Browns played and stuff like that. So, but he's a Laker fan. He's a Laker fan.
You're a Laker fan.
He's a Laker fan. Yeah, I went to the Cavs game last night.
Oh, good.
It was
good.
We won. It was good.
Yeah, Cavs is on a roll.
Yeah, we're on a roll.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm really proud of our team here.
I watch every game from Los Angeles. I watch every game.
Awesome.
I love the Cavs.
So can I ask you, what
Yeah.
should we be looking that's going to be coming from you next? Because you are just really amazing, and you've got your hits and
Yeah.
this and that, and you've got your book.
Yeah.
You're coming out with a new CD. You've already received your Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award recipient.
Yeah.
This is just amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So.
Well, no, I definitely have my hands full. Being a father and a husband, and really having my own business. It's a lot. Speaking engagements with the book, performance engagements, but we're just going to keep it rolling. We are working with, and I do want to thank Danette Render, DAR PR
Yes.
firm, who really hooked us up in these things that I'm doing here in Ohio. So I really hope to be coming back to Ohio to be doing, of course, more concerts, and I don't want to be a stranger. More things here, but yeah, we're still, this album right here is very, very hot. It's really, really hot. So we're still aggressively promoting this record.
Okay.
Like I said, Ocean Waves is the new hit single, and most of you guys have heard Ocean Waves on the radio because it's a hit on both R&B and smooth jazz radio. But we're going to release one more single off of this record, and the way I do my releases for singles, because I am a singer and I am a trumpet player, I basically release records in two different categories.
Okay.
One in R&B category, right?
Yes.
Because basically R&B is mostly vocals, right? And then I will release one in the smooth jazz category, because if you listen to that radio station, it's dominated by instrumentalists. So I always release like two records at the same time. It could be two records. In this case with Ocean Waves, this hit song, it was one record, but it fit both formats. You understand? So
right.
it became a hit at R&B radio. Then we released it at, we rolled the dice on Ocean Waves for Smooth Jazz Radio. We rolled the dice. Why? Because I'm singing on Ocean Waves. If you watch the video, the whole thing is singing. And I want to thank my good friend Blair Bryant. He's featured on bass on that. But I told my radio promoter, we're going to roll the dice with Ocean Waves at Smooth Jazz Radio. And it hit. And like I'm saying, you're taking a risk because they play more instrumentals.
Right.
But they jumped on Ocean Waves. So we're able to release Ocean Waves in two different categories. Understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to release the next single after this runs out, probably in June. It'll be the next single from the record, and I'll tell you what it is, so you can look out for it.
Okay.
On the R&B side, it's going to be a song called "Ain't Nothing But the Funk." It's the first song on the record with me and Tom Brown.
Yeah.
It's something that you can do the step to and all that stuff that y'all be doing out there, whatever it is.
The line dance.
And the line dancing, it's a killer track.
Right.
So we're gonna release that on the R&B side. And then I'm gonna release. I did a cover that I absolutely love, and I did the video in Paris, France. It's all ready to go, and I did a cover of "Walk On By," and it's like For me, it's like all these when you write songs, they're like your children. Which one do you like the best? I don't have a favorite, but Walk On By. I mean, Ocean Waves was killing, obviously, so on radio. But Walk On By, there are a lot of people that have done Walk On By, but there's no one that have done Walk On By like I did it. And we are going to enter it in this year's Grammy Awards category. We will, because we feel it's that strong, and we'll be able to. That's going to go onto the smooth jazz category. Okay. So we'll be pitching it to Sirius XM, and the whole philosophy behind that is A, it's a great song, but B, my audience at Smooth Jazz, they just now got a taste of my vocals from Ocean Waves. You understand?
Okay.
So now we're going to come back with another vocal. So that's kind of like the philosophy behind it, because a lot of times when you say the name Jonny Britt, people say, "Oh yeah, the trumpet player."
Right.
But I'm more than a trumpet player. So it's a good problem to have.
I just love it because, see, you have your own freedom.
Yeah,
and you're living in it.
I do.
And that's awesome.
And I always say that I am I had my group Impromptu, which I'd say 500,000 people know about Impromptu. From our record sales and just television appearances. But I'm a soloist now. That's why the book is called The Soloist. And I must admit to you that I am happier now than I've ever been in my life, because I make my own decisions. I do the music that I want to make. I do music that I like.
Right.
And hopefully you'll like it.
Yes.
But like if you come tomorrow, you're gonna be shocked.
I'm excited
because I'm taking it out. I'm taking it out. I'm just taking some stuff out. I don't want to scare, but I'm just saying I have creative freedom to not be contained. And since I'm an independent artist, when I'm on the stage, I can do whatever I want to do. So no, but I really love the independence of being able to make all of my decisions. I tell the radio station what to play, right?
Right.
I tell, this is what we're going to do.
Right, right.
We did a video with Kim Fields, Impromptu, and you remind me of Kim Fields.
Oh dear, wow!
Yeah,
I'm going to accept that compliment. Thank you so much.
She's in our video Mocha Soul, and we've done a lot of stuff with Kim Fields. Yeah, you remind me of Kim Fields.
Well, you've brought your instrument with us, and so now that you are here in our radio station, you can do what you want to do. Let's hear. Give us a little something.
This is, I'm really proud of this song, because I think it was last year. I was flying home from. I was on a cruise. I was flying home back to Los Angeles, and when we were landing, I got when I get a message from my radio promoter. But in this case, he says, "Congratulations, you have your first #1 Billboard hit record," and it's the title track here after we play.
All right, come on. I just love it. See what you're in for. That was just awesome. And you're going to be at Tri-C today, this evening. Mm-hmm. So come on out, get your tickets.
No, it's free.
It's free.
It's free.
Okay,
it's 6 to, I think it's, is it 6 to 7:30? No, was it?
6 to 7:30.
It's 6 to 7:30, right?
Yes, at Tri-C Metro.
And I'm going on it like just, if you want to come just see me, I'm going around 6:20.
Okay, well, come on out and
Yeah,
see
but come
the
on out
and watch the whole
support.
show. It's going to be
It's all
lovely.
part of Black History Month, right? That's why I'm
Yes,
here.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and
Celebrating.
you making Black history.
Thank you.
Okay, because you
Thank
are
you.
history.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we have to
Absolutely.
embrace our history.
And it's so funny that you mentioned that. Hey, look at here. I was here when Carl Stokes was elected, baby, the first black mayor. So this is we here, Jack.
Yes, right. We are here to stay.
Representing here to
Okay,
stay.
yes,
But thank y'all
yes.
so much. I want to say I'm really proud to be from Cleveland, even though I've left. My heart has always been here. Look, I used to be a vendor at Municipal Stadium for the Browns and the Indians.
Wow.
Yeah. So Cleveland is changed, but my love for Cleveland has not changed. So I want to thank all the fans, all you guys that remember me. Some of you might be my friends. My exes? No, I'm just joking.
Come on, because ain't nothing but love here. Okay, nothing but love.
Fans, my family and friends, everyone here from Cleveland, I so appreciate Cleveland, and thank you so much for your support.
And Cleveland really appreciate you. All this wonderful talent, because there's nothing like some good old R&B and jazz. And we miss our station 107.3, because that's where we would get all the great music, a nice variety.
Yeah.
But that's quite all right.
Yeah, but
Tune into your radio station.
Yeah, the turntable on Solar Radio. It's a London-based radio station. It's Solar Radio, SOLAR radio.com.
Okay.
Tune in at 7 o'clock on Sundays. Or you can go to johnnybritt.com. The information is there. Go to Johnny Britt Instagram, Johnny Britt Twitter, Johnny Britt Instagram. If you go to the Facebook, go to Johnny Britt page. That's my band page. And yeah, follow me. I'm always posting about the show and where I'm going to be and that whole thing.
And they can get After We Play?
After We Play is worldwide. That's my latest record. A lot of you guys know my Marvin Meets Miles record. I have a critically acclaimed Marvin Gaye Meets Miles Davis. It's a concept album that I did. What if Marvin Gaye and Miles Davis performed together, which they never did. But you can check it out on the Johnny Britt Marvin Meets Miles album. And I'll be doing some of that stuff tomorrow night as well.
I can't wait to hear it, because I heard it earlier today, and I was like, okay, I could not get it out of my head. I was like, now that is really banging.
Thank you. And your boys from Cleveland, Ohio. How about that?
All right, Cleveland in the house. Welcome on, Johnny Britt. And now that's what's going on with Lady D today.